You and the Chariot card this year, how's it been for you? Have you felt movement forward? Have you chased down your goals? Have you achieved? Have you thrown action at the year? Or is your Chariot broken down? Is it in the garage? Is it a rusty heap abandoned by the side of the road? Are you feeling static, stationary and stuck? If you are, you might want to watch, and you're not alone. So the Chariot and me, we are really kind of friends that aren't speaking kind of vibe in 2021. I've been too stuck in my head to move forward in a Chariot. My action towards goals fizzled out. Looking at my Kanban board to reset, it reminded me of that. It had been abandoned for the last 6 months of this year. Do you know that feeling and that self-berating that always follows when you know you've dropped the ball or you've let the spinning plates crash? Inner critic in your head telling you you're useless and you can't achieve anything and you're never going to amount to anything. Yeah, you know, fun stuff like that. And that isn't a great thing to have happened this year, considering next year my birth card for the year is the Chariot. But consider this: what if you and me are stuck and we haven't achieved what we wanted to for a reason? What if you've been static on your goals because something else was needed this year? And to explore that idea, I am going back to my current year card for me this year, which is the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is about to lead me into my Chariot year. So perhaps the Hanged Man can throw some light on why the Chariot got parked up for most of 2021. And perhaps the Hanged Man can throw some light on your static Chariot too. Of all the cards that say don't move forward, don't chase things down, it's the Hanged Man. This is a period of time when we are literally hanging, we're waiting, we're surrendering to what is. It isn't about action and chasing down, it's about exploring your perspective on life. It's about making sure that you are grounded or that you feel connected to a source energy that is going to serve you when you chase your goals. The Hanged Man, apart from a gentle swing, is as static as it gets when it comes to action. In the Hanged Man, all of the action is going on in your head. Look at this card. I see a Hanged Man that has become part of the chakra system. We've got the crown chakra up here. We've got chakra colours down here. And for me, that speaks of energy flow, of healing. The base chakras are all about your initial development. And I discovered this year through chakra study, to try and work out why I felt so stuck, that my base chakras were either not formed or really severely blocked and damaged. This is about healing. It's about being able to connect here. We've got a divine light connecting the foot with source, to feel our power and to heal, basically to let our entire system heal. And how might you know that you still got healing to be done? Are you still stuck in repetitive patterns that you know aren't to your higher good? Are you still repeating patterns in relationships? Do you have a repeating voice that berates you even though you're trying to chase down self-love? What patterns are active in your life? And 2021 was a time for me to face up to the fact that I still had healing to do, because repetitive patterns were still there that were really hurting me. I started 2021 wanting to jump into the Chariot and to attack these repeating patterns and to sort my life out. I found I couldn't. I kept returning time and time again to the self-destruct, to the self-sabotage. The cycles had got me, which led me to chakra study, The Hanged Man. This is the book that I've been working through. You can see that I'm doing a proper study on it. It has been fantastic. It did show me where there were blockages, where I needed to heal, and that is a gentle cleaning of the Chariot's wheels. We're not in it absolutely chasing forward, but it was a start. It was beginning to spot the Chariot from upside down from the tree to say, get ready, because we're getting there, we're healing. We're not there yet. Those repeating circles keep re-emerging, they keep coming round. There isn't balance yet. For me, healing looks a lot like balance, and you can see balance in the Chariot. You can see the 4 poles of the earth elements balanced. You can see the belt with the upside down triangle and the pointing up triangle for fire and water. Action and emotions under control, so that you can step into action. You can see the 8-pointed star connecting the charioteer to the divine. There is a flow there, just like we're seeing forming in the Hanged Man. Have you connected to your power? Are you balanced enough to harness it? Are the voices of other people gone, so that you can listen to your own voice to steer in the correct direction? Are your triggers under control, so that fire and water are working together and your emotions aren't hijacking the reins out of your hand? I looked for my repeating patterns. I looked to the Hanged Man. I looked to my energy flow in preparation for the Chariot. So in the Star Tarot, we have our first question to ask ourselves. Was your Chariot stationary because you aren't healed yet? You're looking backwards instead of forwards, stuck in the past. You can't ride a chariot if you're looking backwards. So it might be that time out to heal is needed. Chakra study, also meditation helped, trying to stay mindful and not berating myself when I couldn't make it to the charioteer seat really helped. Secondly, perhaps your Chariot was stationary because you just don't know the direction you want to take the Chariot in. You haven't got a plan, you don't know. Again, the Hanged Man came into play for me for this. Making a plan. You can't be prepared for your goals if you don't have a plan to get there. Look at this woman in the Muse Tarot. She has a plan. You can see it's burned on her forehead there. The book says she burned her plan into her mind's eye and into her heart. Her thoughts and her heart, they all knew the planet was burned in. There was no wondering, there was no uncertainty. She'd sat down and made a plan. Because of that plan, she could connect into the divine power of the galloping horses, and she knew she could control them. You might want to stay hanging around for a bit before you get in the Chariot if you haven't got a plan. For me, it meant sitting with my journal and creating a map for where I want to go and chasing down my happies as well. Making a plan for how I'm going to get out of repeating cycles. What do I need to do? What are the baby steps? What's my why? Why am I doing this? What are going to be the stumbling blocks? What's my alternative plan B if something goes awry? What if I fail? How am I going to get back up again? Mapping out the territory of why and how and the baby steps. I couldn't get into my Chariot because I didn't have a plan. I needed a plan. The Hanged Man year was perfect for that. And of course, before you can even put a plan together, you need to know where you're going. You can't draw the correct map until you know the destination. So part of my Hanged Man year was done with this tarot, the Voyager Tarot, which I bought specifically to be my Room of New Dreams tarot. Once I felt I was really coming out of the healing phase, I realised I'd never sat in a room of new dreams. How could I saddle up the chariot and move unless I knew where I wanted to go, to dream again, to release the shrouds of shame from the past, to release the labels put on me by other people, and to dream again for me in this new space, going in a new direction with new knowledge, to dream again. There is a heron in this card which made me laugh, because a lot of this dreaming again was done at my altar in meditation, and the heron really featured. There are also octopus tentacles in this card. Now, octopus animal energy is what I use to get me through the darkest times of trauma. I call it my trauma warrior animal, because the octopus is an escape artist. It can escape anything. It's got 3 hearts. It loves really hard. And even if you chop a tentacle off, it can grow it back. It can regenerate. For me, that felt like the task that was being asked of me at times. So the octopus was very important. And because of that, it features a lot in my artwork. The Hanged Man in the Voyager Tarot talks about the octopus ensnaring you in its tentacles and dragging you down to the ocean bottom to be lost in a dark night of the soul. And that is also part of the octopus. Stuck in the past, stuck on the ocean floor. This is why the chariot doesn't move when you're stuck in the past. However, to dream again, to begin to breathe fresh air, to step into a new space, once you begin to dream again, the octopus can give you the power to regenerate. Once you start to dream again, you can see clear paths. You can start to see adventure beckoning. The Chariot card in the Voyager Tarot is all about new frontiers, straight paths. You've got adventure, you've got fast motion, but you have to know where the map destination is for this. However, there's also a woman riding a crab, and that's because the crab carries its home with it. And the book says to always be your own home, your own safety. So wherever you are on this journey towards your destination or towards a goal, I think the message is self-love. Don't let that voice of I should have done this or I could have done that better creep in. We have to be our own home at all times, but we also need to know where we're going and to spend time in a room of new dreams. That's what I did this year, and that's why the chariot didn't drive very far, and if it did, it creeped back to the garage on repeat. Do you know where you're going? When was the last time you sat in a room of new dreams and dreamed? If your chariot has been static too, perhaps it just doesn't know where it's going. And lastly, in the Hanged Man year, I think I had to address the question of, do I even believe that I can get there, that I am worthy of my dreams, that it's not all going to fall apart? Do I believe I can defeat the giant? Now, this Hanged Man is brilliant. Just like in the Star Tarot, the Hanged Man is connected to the divine through the lotus. This Hanged Man is Jack and the Beanstalk, and he's connected, the earth is connected to the heavens and the divine through the beanstalk. It's about that connection to a bigger power to help you believe that yes, the giant is defeatable. There have been times this year where I gave up hope, where the dogs trashed the fences in the garden for the 3rd time, and I locked the garden up and went, enough, I can't do it anymore. There have been times trying to get my health back on track that I've thought, this is never going to happen. I have repeating behaviours around food that just have me, I can't do it. The Hanged Man says connect to divine power. You have the power in you. Once you've made a plan, you know where you're going, and you know that you're healed and connected to source, you can defeat any giant. And the Chariot card in these inner child cards is Peter Pan steering his magical ship. Now, the whole point in Peter Pan was for the children to spend time suspended in Neverland, where people don't grow up, you're suspended. Does it sound familiar? But they were never to stay there. The point of the story was the children to find their way back home. And that message of coming back home, it's like the crab again in the Voyager Tarot. Be your own home. Know that you're important, that if you're heading for a destination, it has to be home for you. You can't live for somebody else's goals, for somebody else's dreams, for somebody else's home. You have to be your own home. Until the end of this year, I didn't believe that I could defeat the giant. I didn't have an idea of what a home looked like for me. But Peter Pan says it's all doable. Peter Pan also talks about chasing down adventure and movement and being brave to chase down that adventure and to know that you can defeat Captain Hook. Captain Hook was defeated just like the giant was defeated before he returned home. We don't have to stay forever stationary and stuck in Neverland. We can make our way back home to our own dreams. Also, there's a fantastic wordplay on this card in the book where the word pan is turned into the word panic. And it's a reminder to not panic when the chariot is moving fast towards a goal. You've got this. Never forget you're connected into divine source energy. Never forget the healing work you've done. Look for the balance. Never forget that you've already built your map. You know where you're going. You know what you want. You've made a plan. So was your chariot stationary in 2021 like mine was? If it was, that might have been exactly what it needed to be. Stationary while you connected back into divine source energy and healed yourself, looked for repeating patterns and healed. While you made a plan that you could burn on your mind and your heart so that you could use that plan to connect into source energy. And then if the horses pull left and right and try and drag you off track, you can deal with it because you've made a plan for that. It might be that you just needed to work out where you want to go. Go and sit in the room of new dreams. Or it might be that you just needed to believe in yourself a bit more before you saddled up and held the reins. All the giants are defeatable when you heal, make a plan and connect to divine energy. Peter Pan says don't panic. So I'm not going to panic moving into 2022. The call for adventure has already grabbed me. I felt that call at the end of 2021. I started doing adventure tarot and talking about the need to take tarot outside. Tarot in a tin became a feature because I knew I wanted to take tarot out. Exploring again, I got back to Wales and I knew that I really needed to get back out into nature and the fresh air again. So what chariot adventures are calling you? Are you ready to grab hold of the reins yet? If you're not, don't berate yourself. You might just need a bit of hanged man time. But if you are ready, saddle up. Allow yourself the freedom to dream and believe that you can, because you can.